Just tweet it out so everybody can join in here. 1 second. All right, awesome. Good. All right, well, I hope everybody had a great trading day today. Awesome. Good. All right, well, I hope everybody had a great trading day. And here we are. So good stuff, guys. This week, we're going to be starting a new series here. We're going to be talking about day trading volatility. And what better way to start about talking about volatility than to talk about what the VIX is and what it does. So good stuff there. Before we get started, everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. So please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Awesome. Good. Well, first what we're going to do is we're going to take a look and see where we left off with the market here today, and then we're going to take a look at the futures and see what we're up to or down to here this evening, what we might expect going on into tomorrow. And then we'll take a look at the topic, and then we'll go through questions and chart requests. So let's get started. So SPX, so up 13 points today. Pretty amazing stuff if you think about it, right? Green day, I mean, we're green on the monthly chart, right? So still over the upper Bollinger Band there. Weekly chart still grinding its way up. Inside week, kind of forming an upper doji, northern doji right there. RSI still not overbought yet, so still kind of working its way up. And our wave count is still playing out, right? So we talked about this last night on the Elliott Wave Show. We put it in the newsletter this weekend, and we put it in our bubble report each morning. But it's very important to at least have an active count so we can continue to work, right? And so we thought maybe this little mini pullback right here would be good, but it's pretty amazing how they did it today. They pushed it down basically just to bounce off basically the ADMA and the gap fill, and if you guys saw earlier on my Twitter post, it bounced off of the bump line right here. So really amazing stuff. If it filled this gap later, right, and pushed down below the bump line here to fill the gap, well, that would have caused the trend box and start to get us a little bit concerned here if we start to break down those levels. So that bounce today was really pretty epic. So pretty amazing stuff there. Let's take a look at the intraday price action here. So again, what a day today. So it was amazing, guys. If you saw the tweet earlier in the bubble report this morning, we had a great game plan on this today. We really thought that if we lost Friday's lows, that we would see an accelerated movement to the downside for that gap fill, and we got that today. And it really kind of came out of nowhere. There was no real news today. It was really just a technical move, unless anybody heard anything else. But I mean, basically inside 15 down right here off the 15-orb high, flush below the ADMA with increased volume on the S&P futures, and a big flush below Friday's low, and then the epic dip buy, right? It didn't go straight up, but it pretty much did. It basically returned right to the scene of the breakdown by the end of the day. It was like nothing happened, which was wild, right? So there were a couple short opportunities here. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, there were some other opportunities here. They weren't as major, right? But that was such a fast, impulsive move down, right, that we look here from the highs to the lows, it was about a 618 retrace. From the scene of the breakdown right here, it was, again, just about the exact same thing. So, but upper shot right here for another little short here below the Friday's lows, and then they bought the dip again, right? And then basically held the ADMA for the majority of the day. One little breakdown right here, and then they bought it up into the close. So pretty good stuff there. Let's take a look at the S&P futures, and so you can see what we were looking at here today. So the big stuff, right, are our levels, right, and our signal zones. These are really key levels. When you see something like this, an increased volume slicing through our zones, right, I mean, it's game on, right? So there's a little attempted bounce right here off the single prints. We've talked about single prints here on the market profile in the past, but once we lost that, it was just a quick down move here for the gap fill, and then a big lower shadow off of that with some big volume, right, to start getting going again, right, inside 15 up in that case, and really nice. We started to get higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, or highs, higher lows, and really just continued to work its way up. This was such a fast move, it was barely countable Elliott wave wise. So but you can imagine there was probably 5 waves in here, and then really the entire push up was pretty impressive, right? So the real question is, right, was this a wave 1 down, and this is the almost 100% retrace wave 2, and we're going to see more downside movement? We'll see. In the meantime, what we have to do, and we're really close to all-time highs, and when we get close to all-time highs, volatility oftentimes starts to perk up a little bit. So the market gets a little nervous up there sometimes. So very interesting stuff. So we've got this kind of geometric line right here. We're going to see how that holds going into today. Or into the evening. We'll see it's kind of channeling down a little bit. Let's see if they can get above it throughout the night, and if we get any upside action, we'll have a fresh game plan on that tomorrow in the bubble report and in the group. So good stuff there. So good. So let's talk about the VIX a little bit today. Let's talk about volatility. So just in general, there's basically two main ways of measuring volatility. One is basically the price action, right, of a stock or the market. And what we look at that is, how much we're moving relative to what we have been moving. So there's calculations out there using mean, the mean, the variance, standard deviations, things like that, very complex formulas to try to calculate volatility. But what we're going to talk about here is the VIX. So what is the VIX? So the VIX is a measurement of volatility, but it's calculated. It does have some formulas in it as well. But the main thing about the VIX is it's derived from the SPX. Okay, and how does it do that, right? So let's take a look at the SPX again. That's why we like to look at the SPX so much. One, it's the index, it's the market itself, right? It is the S&P 500 index, right? And it also has options on it, right? So the VIX itself is calculated using the out of the money, using the out of the money options, using the call and the put options for the VIX and their changes in price, right? So there's a calculation using that to calculate the VIX. So when we look at the VIX, it actually is chartable. So the CBOE, right? They actually calculate it. It becomes a tradable instrument, and what it's been determined is that this is a good level, a good determiner of measuring volatility. So it becomes an index of its own, and it's based on the options of the SPX. So very, very cool stuff right there. So what does it tell us? So the VIX tells us a lot of things, right? It tells us, when things start getting wild, right? When things start getting perking up, right? In the options, that the VIX starts to perk up, right? So we can see here, and this typically happens. It tends to get really high when the market starts to go down, right? So what do we have today? We had a big market flush today, and so at the same time, the VIX started to perk its way up too. So we get a lot of indications off of this. We like to measure the VIX. We like to use it as a tool to give us levels. What's very interesting about the VIX, and we'll talk about tactics for trading the VIX. We'll talk about a couple different VIX tools this week, and then we'll talk about the actually using the volatility of the options as well. And really pretty amazing stuff is that it tends to go down in time. Things do tend to calm down. It perks up and then it comes down, right? So if you kind of go back to, let's go back to, I've got the hourly chart pulled up here. Let's go to the daily chart. If you go back to the Corona crash, right? Well, the VIX got really, really perky at that point, right? So if you go to the weekly chart, or if you go back, a couple years. Let's just go back, let's do 10 years on the weekly chart. So it's really interesting. It gives us lots of levels of interest, right? And so you can see that most of the times during these really high VIX opportunities were when the market was flushing. And what happens is when the market is flushing, the volatility of the options start to go up as well. And when the volatility of the options start to go up as well, the premiums go up. And so when the premiums go up, that means that the VIX goes up too, because it's based on the pricing of the options. So that's why when we see the market kind of flushing, we start to see the VIX really start to spike. Now sometimes we'll see it in other strange ways. Sometimes it'll go up when the market is going up, but a lot of times it's when the market starts to get nervous, and that is because option pricing is pricing in that nervousness, right? So if we're getting back to all-time highs, well, there's probably a lot of traders out there, or possibly institutions, that are saying that, hey, well, the market is at all-time highs, it's probably going to pull back here. So when we get high, sometimes the VIX starts to rise as well. And then sometimes it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. It starts to move down, and the VIX kind of projects a move down in the index and in the charts. So it is a very, very powerful tool, but the VIX does tend to calm back down again after things get stabilized, and it is often a shortable instrument. And we'll look at that a little bit more when we look at some of the derivatives of the VIX, and we'll also be talking about VIX, the futures of volatility this week as well. But it's a very, very powerful tool, and it also gives us good clues of what to look at, right? Levels of support and resistance. We just saw on the weekly chart when we were looking at the weekly. That there are major levels up there, right? So this right now is a major level, right? And you can see it kind of corresponds with some other major levels. So a lot of times when we get to these levels and the VIX starts to get really, really elevated, right, it tends to pull back down, which means there's typically the shorting of the market tends to run out of steam. Now this was a huge move right here. It's one of the biggest levels here of the VIX in a very, very long time, and on the Corona crash. And then you can see you just get these little spikes along the way when the market's going down, and then once the VIX starts to come down, right, usually the market starts to work its way up. It also gives level of support. Right, so this is a very interesting area right here. So it gives us very good levels of interest. Again, this 20 level is a major looked at level here by institutions. And so a lot of times when we kind of hang out here for a little bit, if it doesn't push below it, especially since the Corona crash, right? That's where we start to see like the shorter bull opportunities, right? So it came again here, right? We got a little bit of a spike, right? So we're kind of hanging around this 20 level, and things are starting to get a little bit interesting, right? And that's why we start to see some weirdness going on as the market gets back to all-time highs, and really needs some more just needs that overall strength, right? So we've got a big earnings coming on this week, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as we get through the week, about the volatility of the options and why they go up for earnings and things like that. But in general, keep an eye on the VIX, and it's a great tool to have. We like to keep it on our dashboard to see what's going on with the market, because if the VIX starts perking up before the market starts going down, especially if you're not just sitting up there at all-time highs, sometimes it can give you some good clues into the market's potential behavior. And so really, really good stuff there with the VIX. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how we do going into this weekend. There's other tools we use, moving average, clouds, things like that. So good stuff. Well, hopefully you guys found that helpful, and tomorrow, we'll be talking about some more VIX products and things like that this week. So good stuff. So if anybody has any questions or chart requests at this point, please feel free to plug those in the chat window, and we'll get through as many as we can and try to wrap up as early as possible, so we can all get a good night's sleep and have another awesome trading day tomorrow. So good stuff. So Shirley sent a few in via email, so let's get this pulled up there. Shirley, hope you're doing great out there. Let's take a look at TDOC. Wow, up another 24 points today. How about ARK? How about ARK Investing just nailing this? I mean, they don't care about these little things, these little pullbacks back here. They just kept on buying the dip. Buying the dip, buying the dip, buying the dip. Oh, and then look at a breakout right there, a couple sideways action, and then boom, you get the follow through on this. And just incredible stuff on this TDOC right here. So amazing move on that. Let's see if we continue to work its way up. Again, fresh highs on TDOC. Good find on that one too. DDOG. So DDOG up about 3% here today. Still struggling with this geometric line, so a little bit of caution there on that, but a nice push here today. BB, here's another one. This one's been a wild one like that GameStop. Again, big candle here, right? Good volume, good follow through today, and then finally a pullback on that. And again, GameStop was pretty wild today as well. Docu. Okay, so Docu, well, we have to see what Kathy's up to on this one, but in the meantime, we did get a little, we've been chopping around a little bit. Another kind of stay-at-home name like TDOC. So it's just kind of hanging in there, but we got a bearish engulfing candle day with increased volume. So watch out there. If it breaks down here, we might see the 50-day moving average on that. So a little bit of caution there. And then just skipping forward, I know you had a lot of great charts out there, but let's take a look at Apple. So Apple, guys, earnings coming up this week, right? So Wednesday after the close. So let's see how that goes here. Could be a potential doji sandwich. Fresh all-time highs on Apple. Again, in the bubble report this morning, we talked about it giving a potential gap and go if we could clear these pre-market highs, which we did today, and that gave a nice move. But not a lot of follow through, right? So it's just basically down with the market here today. So again, it gave a good move at the open. It also gave a good short opportunity later. So let's see how it goes. But again, generally hanging in here for coming into earnings. So let's see how their earnings call goes. And we'll see where we go from there. So good stuff. Appreciate it, Shirley. Ron, what's going on? Good to see you. Yeah, let's take a look at Fiverr. So Fiverr again, yeah, bearish engulfing candle here today below the 80 MA. Lower shadow again with a lot of the dip buys here, but watch out to break below those lows. Could start to kind of grind its way down to the 50-day moving average if they don't buy it up. So good stuff there. So Mokshi, I don't know what's going on. Good to see you. Let's take a look at Open. So so Open again, another bearish candle with increased volume below the 80 MA, right? So a little bit of caution there, right? Got above the geometric level right here, didn't get any follow throughs, kind of back down again. So just kind of see how it holds these levels down here on Open Door. But yeah, nasty move down on that one. And TAK. So TAK. Let's take a look at this one here. We looked at this one today. Yeah, strong candle yesterday. Good push over the. I think Bob mentioned this yesterday. Good push over the 50-day moving average. Right, nice follow through today, and then the nasty upper shadow again, kind of like a pullback with the rest of the market. Pfizer, yeah. So I'm liking this one. This is pretty bullish. Generally pretty bullish here going into tomorrow. Let's take a look at it here. Good candle today. Again, it had a mini breakout candle right here. Right, on this one with the increased volume. Today's the first strong day it's had in a while. So we'll see if it's gearing up for a little bit of an earnings run, maybe try to work its way up to the 50-day moving average on that one. So good stuff there. Neo, again, down a bit today, guys. This gave us a couple short opportunities in the group. This is, before we really saw the market kind of flush, and Neo was showing some weak signs, and it did push down here to the 80 MA today. But it left with a lower shadow right there, so let's see how that holds. Let's see, CRSR, another good one, big one here. Big push here off of yesterday's candle with the gap up here today, and then some crazy price action today. So again, mostly at this point here, I'm just kind of looking at this. It basically formed a fresh geometric line here. So let's see how it holds that going forward. So good stuff there. Again, that was a big one recently, big breakout on that one not too long ago. VRTX. Again, a little biotech name right here, a little pharma name. So, but again, wow, 241 on this one, and kind of coming to the top of the cloud as it approaches its earnings report. Fubo. Again, guys, this thing's still kind of grinding its way up here. Again, up a little bit after hours, too. But there it is, guys. We finally got the gap fill. We talked about it here for the potential. Gave one more pullback, and then it launched. Right? So it's sort of like a 1-2, possibly working on a wave 3 on this one. See if we can push over today's highs. So good stuff there. Neo we already got, so good stuff there. 2020 says it all. We got to switch to 2021 now, right? So VRM, let's take a look. So Vroom, okay, so gave a little breakout here on these geometric levels recently. So that could have been wave 1, ABC wave 2. So back over the 50 and the 80. The 50 and the 8 EMA with increased volume today. So yeah, so let's see if it's getting ready to work on a fresh wave up. Good find there, vroom vroom. Let's take a look at Walmart. So Walmart down a little bit here today. So Walmart with a lower shadow and a close over the 80 EMA. So back into the cloud on this one. So let's see if we can try to push up, get to the 50-day. So good stuff there. Suyag, what's going on? NOK. Well, good job on NOK. You did great on this one here. So nice find on this one. Sumit, great job on this one too. But again, incredible stuff here, guys. Basically like a shoulder, head, shoulder, inverse head and shoulder right here. And today was just it, right? It gapped up and was a gap and go today, just kind of push through these levels. Amazing stuff to see just that incredible move. Very, very nice on Nokia. Definitely turned some heads today with that type of volume. So really, really good stuff there. Definitely one to keep an eye on to see if it pulls back a little bit, if we can catch a viable dip on it. So Airbnb, we were pretty bullish on this going into today. It did give us a nice gap up and push to the upside. So a good move at the open right there before it came down with the rest of the market there. So at this point here, I mean, it's kind of like this 1-2, 1-2. Maybe, you know, this could be like kind of 1-2, kind of working on a 1-2 of 3. So let's see how it goes with Airbnb to see if that continues to work its way back up. Apple, we looked at a little bit ago. Again, earnings this week. Big doji here today, but fresh all-time highs. So we'll see if that can continue to move here too. Zoom. So another nice one from last night. This is on Paul's bullish radar. We talked about it yesterday. I talked about Zoom yesterday, talking about it getting bullish here. One of my favorite things on it was the inside week. We're a double inside week right now. We still haven't cleared those highs, but still doing pretty good on Zoom. It gave a nice push here, kind of sitting at the 50-day. And then Tesla. So Tesla, guys, this was in the bubble report this morning. Was also, Paul talked about it last night. Nice pennant breakout here. Nice triangle breakout here on the shorter term time frame. Fresh all-time highs, already hit 900, and we've got earnings coming up this week, so it'll be very interesting to see how that does. So good stuff there. Creighton, what's going on? Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, ALGN, let's take a look. So Align. So again, let's see how that did, because SDC was strong today. Big dip buy off the 50-day moving average on this one too. Yeah, so down a little bit pre-market, and then boom, nice dip buy in that right off the 50-day. Again, institutions love that level. So good find right there. Let's see if we can get a little push to the upside, maybe a little earnings run. Let's take a look at DPZ Dominoes. Avoid the Noid. So good stuff there. Okay, so Domino's fun. We were tracking this for a while. Gave a nice push up right here. Tried to break out a little bit. Kind of came back. It's a tough one to trade, but kind of looking like a downward channel right now. So just kind of something to keep an eye on right here. Just kind of see how it holds this. Look to see if it could break above these levels and maybe try to get above the cloud on Domino's and then maybe an earnings run later. TMO, a good find on this one. I know we've been talking about that one recently. So a good breakout. And still holding the 80 EMA, right? So nice little dip by here to the 80 EMA and then a push back up. Kind of a grinder, but still working. EXAS. Good, nice little horizontal flag breakout right here. I mean, pretty horizontal, right? Nice flag breakout right there. A little bit of an upper shadow, but nice push on that one today. Good stuff there. SPLK. So this, guys, was on our bearish radar going into today, and then, of course, they bought the dip off of it. But it worked, right? So for generally an overnight, a little bit of a gap up here and a big flush here with the rest of the market here before the market flushed. And a nice push down there, and then, of course, they bought the dip here. Nice hammer there on the 15-minute chart. And pretty much off of that congestion level, so and back over the 80 EMA. So good stuff there on Splunk. Good, and then the big C, let's take a look. The big C. Yeah, nice doji sandwich up here today. Good push into the cloud. Good volume on that one today. It didn't care that the market pulled back today, so good move on that. Froggy. Let's take a look. So let's take a look. Yeah, JFrog, good push up here today. Nice gap. A little bit of an upper shadow here off the cloud, so it might consolidate for a little bit, but let's see if we can continue to push there. SI, again, big push off of yesterday, Friday's big candle. Wix. hanging in there, getting really, really tight. So unless there's a big move after hours, which I'm not seeing, let's see here. So you got kind of these major geometric levels right here that you kind of want to keep an eye on just to see how it holds. But generally triangulating, right? So let's kind of see which way it breaks with some volume. So good stuff there. EH, let's take a look. So EH, yeah, nice inside day up, right? Kind of a spinning top right there. And let's see how that goes on that one. Futu, again, another big one too, like Fubo. But again, big push there today, big fresh levels, and then kind of a nasty candle there with some increased volume. So a little bit of caution off of that one in case the market gets weak tomorrow, or if this one shows weakness. Vive, let's take a look at this one here. Yeah, so getting really, really tight, starting to show, trying to show some colors here above, green colors here above this geometric line, right? So a decent little move right there. So let's see if it can continue to work its way up. So good stuff. Thanks, Creighton. Really appreciate it. Samuel, what's going on? Good to see you. Yeah, let's take a look at PULM. Let's see how that's doing here. Yeah, I mean, big push recently. Good volume coming in on this one. Nice geometric breakout, right? So nice lower shadow off this one. So see if that momentum continues to the upside. So good stuff there. Good. Well, good stuff. Nitin, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Let's take a look. Yeah, Workhorse. So again, guys, at the close today, the new president said that, hey, we want to use all electric vehicles for our government vehicles. So a lot of these electric vehicle names, especially the U.S.-based ones, got some good pushes here after hours. So Workhorse looking like it's going to gap up tomorrow, so definitely keep it on the radar. We're up to about like 26 right here, so it's not a major gap and go contender going into tomorrow, but it definitely served as a good momentum move going into it. But definitely keep an eye on it tomorrow, see if it gets any relative strength, possibly squeezing out some shorts on that one. Let's take a look at MasterCard. So MasterCard, look at that, big dip right there off of the 200-day moving average. Perfect. And a nice rally on MasterCard today. And Snow. So Snow kind of hanging in there back below its 15 orb again. Today was the day. It did give a gap up off of yesterday's decent candle. Kind of hanging there. Then it left an outside day trying to take out some stops. And it's kind of just under the 80 MA on that one. So a little caution there too. Bob Cody. Again, that one had a big breakdown candle the other day. But kind of pulled its way back up. So pretty cool stuff on that one. Yeah, so it basically did a 180. So continue to keep an eye on that one. If it does show relative weakness again below the 50-day moving average, it may try to pull back. So good stuff there. Mikey, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, glad you made it. Awesome. Good stuff. Wenji, what's going on? Good to see you. Hey, my pleasure. Thanks so much for tuning in. I really appreciate the support. Let's take a look at MViz, Bob. Yeah, so Microvision, again, another big name. Another big name. This one's been hot recently, right? So, boom, big push up right here, kind of started to work its way back, kind of grinding up right here, lots of upper shadows, right? See how it goes over, if it can get over today's highs and this high right here, so you can get some more strength on Microvision. So good stuff there. Kenny, Elmo, I love it. Yeah, exactly. Good stuff, exactly. Exactly. So we'll see how it goes. Futures only down 5 points right now. If we're down 50 points there, Elmo comes out. So good stuff there. Mikey, so yeah, let's take a look at PLTR. Yeah, good follow through today on PLTR, guys. Again, big candle yesterday. Wasn't surprised to see the big gap up. If you go to short-term time frames here, if you go to the hourly chart, right? I mean, what's going on, right? So we had the triangle breakout, right? So here's your wave, right? So impulsive wave up, wave one, a sharp wave two pullback, and it looks like it could be working on wave three. So keep PLTR again on the bullish radar, looking pretty strong. So good stuff there on PLTR. MViz we just looked at, and Laser. Yeah, so Laser again gave us a nice gap. I was expecting the gap up today, but wow, what a good dip buy off of that one again, right? So you go to the 60-minute time frame again, same stuff, right? So you have your kind of like 1-2, maybe 1-2, and then let's see if we continue to push up above these levels here and see if Laser's really kind of ready to do a PLTR. But really, really nice move so far for this one. So good stuff there. Kenny, so Elma bought some VIX calls today. You know it. I love it. So, Micah, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. CVAC, let's take a look. So CVAC, again, just getting real tight right here. So kind of coming up to the top of that pennant. So let's see if we can get a little bit of push out of there. And then CCIV, this thing's been a wild name recently, right? So big SPAC name, big candle yesterday, huge gap up today. Wild move. I think it was halted like 5 times today. So, but again, just crazy volatility on this one, which we'll talk a little bit more about this week. So good stuff there. Rita, what's going on? Good to see you. Yeah, Amazon. This is actually on my bullish radar. I know the futures are down here, but if the market's strong tomorrow, keep an eye on Amazon, see if it wants to get strong. One of the big things I like about it, right? So we talked about the ABCDE triangle, right? So basically here, there's one way you could look at it is that this little push out right here could have been the first wave 1. This could have been your wave 2. This could be wave 3. This could be wave 4. We might see a wave 5 push to get out of the macro triangle up here. So let's definitely keep an eye on that on Amazon. So good stuff there. Let's take a look at Square. Yep, so Square again, bearish engulfing candle day, but holding the 50-day. So let's see if it can continue to hold there and try to get over the ADMA on that one, show that it wants to continue to trend up. So Dan, yeah, so VXF. Yeah, good stuff right there. So very, very nice on this one again. But again, same stuff here, holding the ADMA. Fresh highs, let's see if that can continue to go. Great stuff, really appreciate it. Mike, what's going on? Wall Street, Bets, ETF, I love it. GME, I know, just epic, right? So what a short today, guys. I mean, it was up 11 points today, but wow, from the highs, it was only a 100-point short today on Gate. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Really incredible stuff there. And of course, AMC. Let's take a look at this one right here. Again, big gap up here today. That was on our, we mentioned it in the bubble report this morning with some crazy activity. BB, another wild one right there. EXPR. Let's see. Again, it's pretty wild. Who would have thought, right? That Reddit could do it, right? Express. I mean, why is this thing up? It makes no sense, but it's beautiful. BBBY. Again, retail was strong today. Retail had some relative strength today, which was pretty amazing, right? Macy's was strong. Kohl's and a lot of these guys. Bed Bath & Beyond gave them a good push, but wow, nasty upper shadow off of that one too. Just wild that these names that typically just chop around and do nothing are like they're trading like SPACs. I love it. And then PLTR we just looked at, so good stuff there. So Creighton, yeah, APPN. Let's take a look. Yeah, so APPN, engulfing candle, but not fully bearish engulfing. So, we do have a lower shadow here off the 80 MA, so let's see if that holds going into tomorrow. Down a little bit after hours, so watch if it breaks down below today's lows, for potential more downside on it. So a little bit of caution on that one. DXCM, let's take a look. DXCM just kind of grinding its way up right here again, under the 200-day moving average, but over the 80 MA with a pretty strong hammer candle today. So let's see if it gets any follow through to get above that level. And then now, let's take a look at now. Well, when will now be now? Soon. So good stuff there. And yeah, lower shadow off of this one here, but a nice dip buy here on now today as well. So good stuff. I think they had some news recently as well about they're helping out with vaccines or something like that. So good stuff there. So James, the calculation of the VIX is pretty interesting. Yeah, specifically the time code, how it's looking for 30 days. That's right. And how when the near-term options use, move, close, it changes too. Right, exactly. Very, very interesting stuff. And it's wild how it uses the options to calculate, which is pretty cool. Yeah, exactly. The next expiration. I love it. Yeah, I didn't get into too much detail on it, but I just kind of want to get over through the basics of it. So good stuff there. Zenful, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning. Oh my goodness, RKT. What a strong move today. Wow, it finally, thanks for mentioning this one. We've been stalking this one forever to break out, right? It was kind of doing like a head, or it was doing like a cup and handle, and then it's doing, trying to get over this, and it did the momentum move through it here. It's really incredible, guys. And it was on the bullish radar, right? Over the last couple days, it was kind of grinding its way up, and it just finally launched today. We talked about it in the newsletter this weekend that it was starting to perk up, and it just, what a strong move. Just boom, 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 boom. I mean, just incredible, incredible move on Rocket today. So again, see if it goes, see if it continues to push up. I mean, I like the volume at the open. I like the sideways action at the close. That's usually a pretty good indication that there's some relative strength in there. They're trying to buy this thing up. So again, see if it pulls back right here, and then if it's ready to go. So good stuff on RKT. Susan, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, let's take a WNW. Give me 1 second here. Yeah, so today's like the first decent day on it in a long time, right? So it gave a big push up here when it was kind of released, right? And then it's been just kind of grinding down here below the 80 MA. And today's kind of the first day. You got some volume here right at the 80 MA, a little bit of an upper shadow, but yeah, definitely keep an eye on it, see if it can push. Had a huge move at the open today. In fact, today's chart is like fractal to the daily chart, which is really cool, right? So doesn't that look just like what the daily chart was doing? So, but it did push up after that. So let's see if the daily chart will do the same thing. So again, over today's highs could be pretty interesting for it. So good stuff there. So James, as soon as the near-term options get less than 24 days of expiration, they're no longer used. And the previously next-term expiration becomes new near-term expiration, and this occurs every Friday, which is awesome. So good stuff there. I love it. Geo, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. DKNG, let's take a look. Yeah, DKNG, nice bounce here off of the 50-day moving average. Again, I was generally leaning pretty bearish on it going into tomorrow. Going into today. I think Paul had a bullish count on it, so I just kind of let it go. But it did pull back here to the 50-day moving average. But nice stuff there. AMT, let's take a look. AMT. Yeah, American Tower. Again, a lot of these real estate names are pretty interesting, or at least property names are very, very interesting. Strong sector day. Big push on AMT today. SDC was epic, guys. This is one of the ones, if you guys remember the video from Friday night. I said keep an eye on SDC going into today. What a gap and push today. Just incredible move on that one. Beautiful. Again, found a little bit of resistance right after this prior selling pressure, but what a move on SDC today. Good stuff. Members were able to take advantage of that today, which is great. Facebook, let's take a look. So Facebook's been grinding its way back up after it, right? Remember our trend box right here? It couldn't get below it. We couldn't confirm below it. Inside day and then bounce and still kind of grinding its way up here. So again, as we've got earnings coming up on this one. J&J. Again, J&J, let's take a look. See if it pulls up here for us. There we go. Yeah, J&J still going, guys. Again, we had a longer term time frame bull flag on this not too long ago, and it's finally really just kind of just starting to grind its way up. So some good stuff there on J&J. So yeah, BB up after hours. I love it. So Amazon BB deal, nice. Plus the Wall Street Bets pump. I love it. Yeah. So BB. Let's take a look where we are on that one. Yeah, big push on that one too. So good stuff there. Good. So Micah got a core position on AMC at $3. I love it. So selling calls until the moon. There we go. Beautiful stuff. Nice job on that one. Yeah, eventually people will go back to the movies, right? Michael, ACI. Let's take a look. Yeah, how about Albertson starting to move? Wasn't that something? I tell you, you always find these crazy names that eventually break out. But yeah, big push on this. Again, guys, the retail sector was just strong today, so good stuff there. Micah, yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Gio, let's take a look at iRobot. So let's see how iRobot's doing. Whoa, up 16 points today, 17% gainer today. Incredible. What was this on Wall Street Bets as well? Wow. Just incredible stuff right there. Participating income investors column. I mean, what was going on here? Touch session highs. What was there like? I mean, that's just incredible. I mean, these stocks are going wild. So stocks gone wild. So Michael Bingo was his name, right? Exactly. So BNGO. So another genomics name again, still continue to work its way up there, just rolling. So good stuff there. Creighton, yeah, hey, thanks so much. I really appreciate it. Good stuff. Yeah, I love this topic. I think it's appropriate for this week. So especially with today's price action. Netflix again. Mustafa, yeah. So let's take a look. So Netflix. Hanging in there, right? So the 80 MA is finally catching up to it here. We're getting into this big earnings gap. It needs to continue to defend that, right? To see if it wants to work its way up. And then it's like we look at it, we're like, oh, wait a second, it's Netflix, right? It gapped up on earnings, but it's like, okay, yeah. So anyway, back into the chop zone. So we got that going. It used to be a really fun one. Seiko, what's going on? Good to see you. Let's take a look at Lulu. Yeah, Lulu kind of drooping down right there, right? But it's hanging on to a couple other support levels. So let's see if that can hold and try to grind its way up. And see, like, it's not going wild. It's GME money flowing wild. Exactly. Same money going wild. I love it. So good stuff. Michael, hey, thanks so much. Good. Well, good stuff, guys. Great charts tonight. I really, the day the retail took over, and the utilities. So good stuff there. Anyway, guys, I really appreciate everybody for tuning in this evening. Hopefully you guys found this discussion helpful. Great chart request tonight, and really appreciate it. So thanks, guys, everybody, for tuning in. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe on YouTube and hit the notification button so you can see when we post new videos. We post 3 videos each day, plus the live stream at night, right? We've got the Good Morning Market Prep, Lunchtime Market Update, and the Daily Market Wrap. Just great stuff, good insights. We do chart requests for the lunchtime one, so good stuff there. And we hope to see you guys tomorrow, bright and early. We'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow for the Good Morning Market Prep video. And for everybody that's in the group, we'll see you for the bubble report and in the Discord on the live stream. So good stuff, guys. I really appreciate everybody for tuning in. I hope everybody's an awesome evening. Stay healthy out there, and remember your risk first and stay safe so you can stay in the game. We'll talk to you guys soon.